Okay, so yesterday we did this 3.3 section, student loans. So you should be about done with the homework now. We only did these two examples. So if you weren't here, you need to catch up on that. So our next section that we're going to do is this 3.4 right here, loan calculation and not regression. So I know that's a complicated name, don't worry about it. So actually these notes are actually incorrect in your binder. The binder or the notes in your binder, I think they have this example on them, but they don't have this one. And this is actually the main new thing that we're going to do today. So I printed out another copy for all of you of the notes. So Julie should have those and should have distributed them. Yeah, so it should look just like mine now. So it has this example 1, and then this example 2 right here on the back. So you can just put that, I mean, you can even just toss the old one. You don't need it, or just put this one in behind it, because this is going to be kind of our main new thing. So these are really short notes today. And this first one is actually an example just like what we've been doing the past couple of days. Okay, so we're going to use this monthly payment formula. Let's see right here that we've used the past couple of days to find the monthly payment on this loan, the sum of the total payments, and the interest paid. So I'm going to go through this kind of fast because it's something that we've already done and we've already gotten practice on. So basically, if you have a 5-year, here, let me highlight some stuff. If you have a 5-year, $10,000 loan, 6% interest. Now remember, there are two ways that we can do this. One of them is we can use this monthly payment calculator or formula. Okay, so remember that this formula, the variables in it are P, that's our principal, R, that's our interest rate, and T, that's our amount of time. Okay, so in this case, P, the starting amount of the loan, is $10,000. $10,000. Okay, and then R, we also need R, that's our rate. That's right here, 6%. Remember, we write that as a decimal. It's 0.06. And then T is time, and this is a 5-year loan. Okay, right here. So you should be able to do this part kind of quickly now because we've had enough practice on it. So now we would have to fill out this gnarly formula right here. Or I guess it looks more gnarly than it is because it's just plug and chug basically. Okay, so if we want to find our monthly payment on this loan, we need to take our principal, which is 10,000, multiply it by rate over 12. Okay, I'll kind of highlight as I go. So I put our principal, multiply it by rate over 12. So that's 0.06 over 12. And then we have our 1 plus r over 12. Okay, so 1 plus our rate over 12. And it's raised to the 12 times t. So 12 times t, which is 10. Okay, so there's our numerator, and then in the denominator, we'll have our 1 plus r over 12, 1 plus 0.06 over 12, raised to the 12t, which is time. Okay, so I did that. And then we have our minus 1. Okay, so I want you to practice like putting this in your calculator and making sure you can get the right answer. Because we've had a lot of, let's see. T is supposed to be 5, huh? Okay, sorry that threw you guys off. Okay, T is 5. I think today T is 5 right there, 5 years. We've been doing so many today where it was a 10-year loan that I just automatically put 10 in there. Okay, 5-year loan. Okay, all right. Okay, so we have 0.06 in everywhere there's an R, 10,000 in for our principal, and then 5 in for our year. Okay, all right, so I want you to make sure you can put this in your calculator and get the right answer. So whether you do it right now or later, I know it's really complicated. Definitely make sure that you put it in all at once, because if it looks exactly like this when you type it in, parentheses, fractions, everything exactly like that, it's going to do all the order of operations for you correctly. Okay, so you should, when you type that into your calculator, you should get 193.33. Okay, So that's the monthly payment on this loan, and you make that payment for 5 years, every month for 5 years. Okay, so that's a review. Find the sum of the total payments. Well, we're paying $193.33 every month for 5 years. So 12 times a year for 5 years. 12 times 5. You might already know that this is 60. There are 60 months in 5 years, or you can just put the 12 times 5 there. Okay, so put that in your calculator and you should get 11599.80. Again, I'm going to go through this a little quick because we've done it already. Okay, that's the total payments that you make over 5 years. Here's our answer right here. Okay, and then what's the interest paid? Well, again, that's how much extra are you paying compared to your loan. So our loan amount was $10,000, but in total we paid $11,599. So we just need to take our $11,599.80, subtract our original amount, $10,000. Okay, and if we do that, you get $1,599.80. Okay, so about $1,600. That was your interest. Okay, so again, we've done that before. There's some more practice. There's some more practice on the assignment today that you'll be working on. All right, so let's move on. This is the new stuff. So now I just want to, the reason that I think this is included on these notes is because right here, it's so you can see right here, you can kind of contrast the formula we learned the other day and this new one we're going to be working with today. So this one right here, we use this when we already know the principal and the rate and the time. Okay, so like this problem gave us the principal, the rate, and the time. And what we want to find out is the monthly payment. Okay, the monthly payment is what we don't know. Okay, in this formula that we're learning today, we have to know the monthly payment and the principal and the rate. And what we don't know, what we're trying to figure out is the time. Okay, so basically this one right here was a monthly payment formula. We plug in principal, rate, and time, and it gives us monthly payment. This one down here is a time formula, okay? So we're going to call it the loan length formula. So we use this when we already know what we want our monthly payment. Oops, that's kind of bright. We already know what we want our monthly payment to be. We already know our principal, how much we're going to be loaned, and we already know our rate. What I don't know is how long is my loan length going to be. Okay, that's what I'm going to solve for. By the way, these logs right here, when you see log, hopefully, well, I don't know, that might be familiar to some of you. That's actually just a mathematical function. Your calculator will do it for you. If you have no idea what it is, honestly, don't worry about it. Type the log button on your calculator and let it do its thing. Okay, if you have a little bit of background on what it is, basically, the log is the inverse function of the exponential function. So when you see up here, see how there's a bunch of exponents? Okay, in this formula we kind of have an exponent there, an exponent here. Basically, we're kind of undoing that because we're kind of trying to solve for time. So that's why we're going to see some logs in here, because that's how we undo an exponent. If you have no idea what I just described about logs, don't worry about it, okay? So the point is there's a log button on your calculator, use it. So, okay, so there's that. So let's do this one example. Okay, so Claude wants to borrow $25,000, so he knows he needs that much to buy a car. And he's looking at his monthly budget, and he knows that all he can afford to pay is $300 a month on his car payment. Okay, and the bank is offering a 5.9% loan. What would the length of his loan need to be so he could stay within his budget? So what would the length of his loan need to be? Okay, so because it's asking for the length of his loan, we're going to use this loan length formula. Okay, so he already knows. So again, so in this formula, you see we need to know M, monthly payment. Well, he already knows he wants it to be $300. And we see R, the rate. We see some R's, okay? But he already knows what the bank is offering, this rate right here. And then we see some P's, the principal. Well, he knows how much he needs to borrow. It's $25,000, okay? So let's write all of that down. What he doesn't know is the length. How long should his loan be? Okay, so let's write down M. Oops. M is the monthly payment. So he can pay $300 per month. Okay, that's in green because that's right here, $300 per month. Okay, so let's see, what else do we need? P, the principal. Well, that's the loan amount, $25,000. Okay, and then R, the rate. Well, that's 5.9%, which again, we write that as a decimal. It's 0.059. Okay, all right. So those are more or less color coded, except I randomly did all this in yellow. So, okay. All right, so what we don't know is T. He wants to know how long does his loan need to be. Well, let's take this formula right here, this loan length formula. T equals, let's plug everything in. So we have log, just write log. Again, that's just you'll just click it on your calculator. Okay, we have log of M over P. Okay, M over P. Now M is 300. I'm gonna give myself some more space. Okay, M is 300. P is the principal, 25,000. Okay, so we did this part, log of M over P, okay, minus log of this stuff, okay? So let's keep going, let's plug in the formula, minus log of, okay, we have M over P again, okay? So that's 300 over 25,000 minus R over 12, okay? So minus R, which is 0.059, over 12. Okay? All right, so that's the numerator. I know I've kind of made this kind of messy, but that's the numerator right there, and I plugged in all the M's, P's, and R's. Okay, now let's do the denominator, which means what's in the bottom of the fraction. Okay, so let's look down here. 12 times the log of this stuff, okay? All right, so 12 times log of 1 plus R, which is 0.059, over 12. Sweet. Okay, so all the red stuff is stuff I've plugged in. Okay, so now I'm just going to type this in my calculator and let it do its magic. Okay, so your calculator has a log button. I wish I could show it to you while I was screen recording. If you look at your calculator, so pick your calculator up, that lime green key in the top corner, the second key, right underneath it, you'll see log. Okay, so when you type that log button, it's going to put that log function in for you, and it actually puts the open parenthesis in for you as well. So, yeah, practice putting these in your calculator. Julie can probably come around and help you, or I can help you Monday if you're having issues, but I'll show you in my calculator. I know I don't have the same calculator as you. Okay, so let's look. So let's see if I can get this plugged in so it looks exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to have our fraction. And in the top of our fraction, we're going to have log. So let's see where my log key is, right there. Log of M over P, so it's 300 over 25,000. Okay, please follow along in your calculator. Practice typing this in, see if you got the same answer as me, or if you need some help. Okay, so we've got this fraction, 300 over 25,000 minus 0.059 over 12. Okay, so it should look just like this in your calculator. Let's do the denominator. We have 12 times the log of, 1 plus 0.059 over 12. Okay. All right, so you should get an answer of about 8.96. Okay, about 8.96. So I'll go back over to my notes. So that is about 8.96, which we're going to round, okay? That's about 9 years. Okay, that's how long his loan needs to be if he only wants to pay $300 a month. Okay, so there's that example. That should be about what you need for your homework. That's just what we're doing. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to show you what your homework is really quick. So for 3.4, we actually have a 3.4a assignment and a 3.4b assignment. So 3.4a is actually kind of a review from last time. Okay, so we're finding the monthly payment using our monthly payment formula. Okay, and I'll have a key on the board for these. You can come check. So put the screen up, come check. Okay, so our monthly payment, by the way, this one actually calculates it for you to save you on some time and just asks you some other questions. So you should be able to do that. 3.4b is kind of more, oh, I have a bunch of drawing on it. It's kind of more what we did today, a little bit. So on number 1, it goes through. So we have a $7,000 loan, and that's what he wants. He's going to go check with 2 different banks. Okay, so Stevenson Trust Company is offering him an 8-year loan and an interest rate of 8.6%. First National Bank offers him a 5-year loan and an interest rate of 10%. So you're going to kind of just go through and do the same thing and compare them, okay? And then after that, number 2 and 3. So number 2, 3, and 4, those are going to be practicing what we did today, okay? Finding the loan length. So make sure you can do those ones. And then number 5, I'm going to count number 5 as a bonus, okay? You don't really need to do it. It's not going to be on the test. Basically, this just has someone's loan. They borrowed $10,000. And we're going to go through and we're going to look at, okay, year 1, here's the amount they paid, so here's their balance now. Year 2, here's the amount they paid, so here's their balance now. Year 3. So we haven't quite really talked about how the amount that you're paying in a year can be split between your principal and your interest, and you can keep track of that. So you guys, I think, are totally capable of filling this one out, especially comparing it with the key. But don't worry about it too much. Have that be kind of the last priority. So we can talk about it on Monday if we need to. So anyways, so that's the notes for today. So good luck on your assignment, and ask Julie for help, or I can help you with anything on Monday.